one for a song.
Yeah! Get dragon fire for Opaline!
This whole opening is a masterpiece in calling to mind the inner struggle of Misty's loyalty to her friends and Opaline, almost like two halves of her brain consistently fighting for supremacy over the other. Let's award wins to every stunning slice of attention to detail, shall we? This is one too. Misty's devotion to Opaline displayed in the left puppet with the messy hair and wickedly smug smile, compared to the right puppet's more polished mane and bright smile. A clear sign that the further Misty loses herself to the dark side, her physical appearance deteriorates as a result. The left puppet is also having a mini marble chain to replicate the locket that Misty was always seen wearing before, and the right puppet not seen with one. What small but clever foreshadowing for the ending of this episode when Misty departs ways with the necklace, showing to us how Misty will be much happier without it.
Happy laugh!
I never took into account how subtly upsetting it is how Misty doesn't know what a happy laugh sounds like. It felt more timorous and not as joyful you'd normally expect out of a happy laugh. It's ironically hilarious yet so sad. Acknowledging how Misty was brought up throughout her life under Opaline's servitude, it truly shines another light on how Opaline seriously messed her up to not properly understand the concept of happiness. It's dark and I honestly love that for a grim undertone to this opening. Plus, just for the record, Misty would be expert at puppeteering considering she made these without Izzy's creativity. Don't you think she should build her own puppet show? I'd pay top pound for that.
Admiring this grass. Green. No inner struggle between good and evil over here.
It's almost like Misty was deliberately venting her identity crisis so loudly for any pony nearby to hear. She's just begging for the main five to discover her acting all suspicious. I mean, why else would she be doing it so close to the Crystal Bright house? Misty, unbeknownst to even her own sanity, is already doing the right thing. Mental health is never to be joked around with, so that's a huge W.
No inner struggle between good and evil over here.
If that is not a meme phrase already, well, it should be.
Cleansing its energy?
Let's take the definition of cleansing and apply it to what Misty said. Cleansing its energy. Misty practically admitted to wanting to free herself from Opaline's sins and her own guilt of being under espionage within the main five. This double meaning has me on edge, so I will award it double. Also, do you remember what Misty said in her confrontation with Opaline in Roots of All Evil Part 2?
It's so sad. You've got all the power in Equestria, and you still haven't ever felt true friendship. I actually feel really sorry for you.
This colossal foresight rewatching this episode solidifies its delicious rewatch value that Misty would want to cleanse Opaline too, even after all of her abuse. This episode eats good with this extra context.
Love a good energy cleanse. Can I help?
You gotta love how dedicated Izzy is in spiritual, supernatural, and mystical affairs. Of course she would offer to help sanitize the amulet, and it's funny to see her do it with duo dusters.
All good. I got it.
Aww, Izzy really did want to help. Never make Izzy upset. It'll just set you off like it's doing for me.
There's something strange about that necklace. You've been acting kinda weird lately.
Sure, you may chalk this up to Zip being invasive within Misty's personal space as per usual, but honestly, she never directly accused Misty for her dubious behavior here. Her attention is towards the necklace, not the pony, so this is clear how Zip has learnt her lesson of outright casting doubt on any pony. She's still humble, give her a break. The execution of these flashbacks is ingenious considering how they are presented in this scene, making us believe it was just Zip's memories, but it was all recorded on her phone. I appreciated that section at the end of it when it reels out from the screen. And wait, knowing that it's Zip's phone that recorded Misty's suspicious activities, does this mean that Zip was in the police station when it was recording? What were you doing with that stallion that day, you sneaky mare? Hashtag Team Stormblazer! Hitch giving Sparky some potty training, it seems. Thank God for that. We don't want another episode 46 on our hoofs, do we?
Dad? was you?
You know, I can't blame Hitch for that tiny mishap with his 9 pens. I'm fairly certain those of you with OCD screamed internally alongside his own reaction. It's just funny. Also, Hitch pen.
Zip's right. Why don't you just take it off for a little bit?
Lending a helping hoof.
I can't take it off. It's really special to me.
The Stockholm Syndrome has affected Misty so much to the point of calling the locket special. It's just painful to listen how she's trying to protect her friends from Opaline's wrath. Opaline may have Misty captive, but she knows where her real loyalties lie, which makes another scene near the end extremely fulfilling when the main 5 soon fall under her possession.
Now, if you don't mind, I've got errands to run.
Comparing Opaline's many other errands that she sends Misty on, including when Misty brought back a smoothie for her, this one is probably amongst the tamest. I guess, yay? It's impressive how the team integrate the intro music in each episode. They almost never use the same background music or tone. That's a big effort that deserves a win.
Ooh, shadowberries. They're Opaline's favorite.
These wacky names for fruit that we get introduced to is strangely one of my favorite things throughout G5. The Glimmerberry, the Blazeberry, and now a Shadowberry. No wonder it's Opaline's favorite. It's dark like her soul. Symbolism. Just look at the style of the Shadowberry tree. How the warm and dark magenta and orange palette of colors contrast with the brighter hues of the land around, and the fact that there are spikes sprouting out around the trunk. It looks so eerie, and that's already a win. Also, recognizing where the tree is planted, potentially within Sunny's community garden, it's a lovely way of establishing how sooner the main 5 will come face to face with Opaline, given that after this episode, Make Your Mark Chapter 4 begins. The necklace, along with this creepy tree, were hints that the confrontation of a lifetime was coming.
She's gonna love me for at least 5 minutes when she sees these.
Am I the only one who wants to give Misty the biggest hug after she delivered that heartbreaking line?
Necklace? Where are you? I said don't move!
And now she's so upset for losing the necklace that she starts to cry, under the assumption that Misty gets punished every single time she messes up something Opaline told her to do. It's simply dramatic how Misty is too familiar with her abuse that her tears don't hold back, showing in detail her inner fright. Clean necklace transition there.
I'm telling you, something's not right with this thing.
I easily love the design of the locket. How it's shaped like a closed eye whenever Opaline isn't observing through it, and whenever it opens, the sight of the gloomy purple eye continuously sends a mini shiver down my spine.
It's super shiny.
I never knew Izzy had the soul of a niffler. Kitty Izzy!
I'm Izzy. Here's a stupid poem. Earth pony smell and Pegasi stink.
You gotta adore the unique sound design in this scene. It's glorious. The background score when Izzy and Hitch get possessed is somewhat unnerving, with Opaline's signature church bells to signal her ominous presence, and those gentle sparkly tings representing Opaline's hypnotic power when she's about to take control of the main 5's minds. Not to forget the suspenseful escalations in the music when the possessions reach their breaking points. Haunting, and I love it so much, so I'm awarding it 3 wins.
Earth pony smell and Pegasi stink. You smell like fishes. You're fishes. I bet you eat your young.
Symmetry.
Also, crafting's totally lame.
Yes, we all love Senior Butterscotch and Madame Taffytail, but why does nobody ever talk about Sylvie Stickerton? Considering how Izzy likes to interact through her dolls and treating her creations like real beings, and how Sylvie is seen on a photo later, her regret can be sympathized with. Izzy literally crushed her and immediately felt so bad for ruining her without knowing why. Hashtag justice for Sylvie Stickerton.
It's like it turns you into the opposite of who you truly are.
This concept is simply class for displaying our favorite characters in a very different light. Despite it not being as grim as I would have loved it to be, what we got was absolutely fantastic. Izzy becoming an enthusiast for destruction, Hitch angrily defying his moral code of following the rules, Pip turning into live performances of Dragon Force, Sunny consumed by hatred and an unsettling aura for division, and Zip finally assuming the throne in a tyrannical manner that topples even her mother. Tom getting Gidman's level of imagination in his writing for this episode is unparalleled, and I have to spoil him with at least 5 wins. No wonder why people love this one way more than many others. It's so terrifying.
It's the anti-sparkle!
Normally, people would complain about inanimate objects having intentional names like the Hope Lantern, but the anti-sparkle, for as goofy as it sounds, it's actually a befitting name for an item that turns you into the opposite of yourself. Like what Izzy described about your sparkle from A New Generation, it's like envisioning your identity inverting, similar to a familiar filter. Clever.
Rules? Who needs them? Pep, do more littering!
What a wonderful way to call back to Hitch's first on-screen offense to littering. Once he was trying to put a stop to it, and now here, Evil Hitch is actively encouraging it. It definitively puts into perspective how Hitch is amongst the most responsible characters in the generation.
Yes, more, yes. More!
If I'm being perfectly honest, I'm kind of glad none of the girls attempt to rip the necklace off of Hitch. This version of him is no stranger to throwing away reasonability and morality, so it's good to keep Evil Hitch occupied by just following what he wants until he cools off. I believe Evil Hitch could have easily slapped Pip if she didn't obey, and luckily we didn't see any of that. Sorry, but this frame is just hilarious.
Anyone for a song?
Pip should be lucky that her real very bad hair day came early and didn't contain any sentient hair dragons. Tom Gidman wrote that episode too. He does sure love giving Pip anxiety issues. I understood this reference.
Much better.
The fact that Pip can rip and shred with weenie hoofs on a quattro guitar that's sonorous enough to explode the windows is literally perfect cartoon logic and humor. 1 win for each of those guitars, please. Not gonna lie, all that evil Pip wants to do is ferociously rock out like Evanescence on crack is comedically adorable, which further proves how Pip is quite possibly the most innocent member of the main 6. Compared with the other possessed ponies, evil Pip is very watered down in the evil department. Now, oh boy, this shot of the demolished Bright House is another of stunning beauty. All of these hints around the living room are byproducts of what each evil member of the main 6 have left on it. The ripped wallpaper from Izzy, the rubbish scattered around from Hitch, more smashed guitars that are likely Pip's doing, and the pile up of books with their pages torn out, probably because of Sunny or Zip wanting to remove history. It's a huge combination of what happens when the amulet has been gaining power jumping from one pony to another, and with enough power, it can now control them all without any pony having to wear it. Hey, you know, after seeing this, now I can see a clear possibility on how the tribe separated due to Opaline's interference. Ooh! Another awesome shot right here. Sunny having figurines of her and all of her friends, and Misty is among them? Now that's worth 1,000 words to show how Misty has already been accepted into their group. If that doesn't tell you how much Sunny considers Misty a close friend at this point, nothing will.
It's every pony for themselves!
Remember when that photograph was made in a home to share? Watching it getting ripped in half here is such a splendid moment of short sorrow and irony. Evil Sunny treating the world and viewing friendship like it's a free-for-all and nothing special is shockingly scary. Remind you of some pony?
I'm the heir of the Zephyr Heights throne!
Evil Zip. What? Sorry about that. But come on, people. You probably reacted this way too with Nightmare Moon. This is no different.
Bow down before me!
Christ, I know the Stormblazer ship is popular with Zip and Hitch always being a bit hesitant around each other, but the corrupted versions of themselves shove the indications right in our faces. Evil Hitch is littering praising his future demon queen, and Evil Zip breaks the 4th wall by shouting at us to bow down before her. How much more assertive can you be, Tell Your Tale?
Oh no! What are you doing to my friends?
One of Misty Bright Dawn's most commendable moments ever, ladies and gentlemen. Her individuality and independence shine boldly in the spotlight, determined to release her friends from Opaline's grasp. With the acknowledgement that Misty is the most shy and demure of the group, when she launches into action, it's so inspiring learning to stand up for yourself and your friends in dire times of need. The score in the background and Opaline's dread-inducing laughs are really creepy as well, giving this rescue a sense of danger and urgency. Not to forget how slick the animation is too when Misty leaps through the mist. A delightfully intense sensation all the same. 10 wins for this scene. And I hear you behind your screens, guys. Why isn't Misty affected by the amulet? Well, it's simple. Misty isn't good or evil at this point in the series. She's both simultaneously. Her sock puppet routine at the beginning showed us how conflicted she was about where her loyalties lie. She lives life in both the light and the darkness. Misty has no opposite personality. Compared to Sunny and the others who have a solid characterization, Misty doesn't know who she is. The perfect loophole. She cannot be manipulated because she already is. Tom Gidman, you're a genius for that. Have another 3 wins.
You were right, Zip. This necklace is bad news.
Obvious Titanic ending reference aside, this episode's ending is rather poetic with the connection to the start of Misty deciding whether she should follow in Opaline's footsteps or stick by her friends was so satisfying. Separating herself from the necklace before Opaline's devilish screams erupts out of it was something thrilling, as this ending left me refreshed yet fearful for the future of the generation, knowing Opaline isn't happy. This chronology is so solid for merging both shows together with the locket being destroyed. Knowing that after this episode, Make Your Mark Chapter 4 technically begins. If the necklace was still there, the audience would start asking questions about why Misty didn't have it on her anymore. They made sure to get rid of it so it was exclusive to Just Tell Your Tale and it wouldn't potentially interfere with the Netflix series continuity. That's a slice of relief. I cannot end this video without bringing up the fact that Hitch trolled us, making us believe that he is still under the influence of the anti-sparkle just to see that he is still a stickler for the rules. What a marvelous note to end the episode on. Have another 5 wins. Love it, love it, love it!
What is that?
The all-seeing eye.
Stop! I could have dropped my croissant!
Anyone for a song?
I'm no expert, but aren't fireworks supposed to explode in the sky?
I don't need friends. They disappoint me.
Well, you better bow down on your knees. Can I get a yes, your majesty? So treat me like a queen.
And just before this video ends, I want to give a huge thank you to all my patrons on my Patreon. My Silver Fluffbutt patrons, Louise Wade and Alex Smith, and all my Gold Fluffbutt patrons, Jack Leichter, Drew Luczynski, Clear Heart Apple, Owen Wildish, Jonathan Chapper, Darth Siler 22, Kiki Bat VA, and the Peyton Grauerful Trisky. All of your love and support is greatly appreciated. Thank you.